All right, y'all, here we go. Dat NBA Life, July 19th, Thursday. This is going to be a quick hitter. Quick hitter here. We're going to shorten these up and get straight to the point. Kawhi Leonard has been deported from San Antonio. I got James with me as always. James, what was your, did you hear the rumblings of that out of Vegas, or were you just like completely shocked when you heard him?
I mean, I do keep up a little bit with the Vegas things, and you're definitely accurate in the fact that they're getting the drop on Woj and some of the things that he's putting out there. They clearly have insiders, not a new piece of information. But yeah, I was a bit surprised by it. I think that Popovich and the Spurs organization are probably up front, you know, decent guys, but they seem like the type of people to where they're stuck in their own way. And if you cross them, they'll be okay with you being uncomfortable. And speaking of discomfort, going from Texas to Toronto, just from a weather standpoint, is going to be uncomfortable. And I know Kawhi has made it explicit he doesn't like cold weather. So it kind of reminds me of the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where Bugs would kind of trick the bad guy to step into a box, and that box was like shipped to Timbuktu or Tahiti or Taiwan or something real crazy. So I think he definitely got shipped off in some type of aggressive manner. But I hope he balls out. He's talking about maybe not playing. That sounds a bit crazy. But he's going to be lone man out there. I think DeRozan will transition well. Those are my initial thoughts.
Well, now we're seeing a history of these front offices, because you could take a look at the Paul George situation, which probably wasn't even it wasn't as ugly as this Kawhi situation as far as people in their feelings. And these front offices are showing that they are willing to take less to place the guy where they don't want to be. And the OKC thing obviously worked out, but like on paper, it was like, oh, you want to go to LA? We'll send you to Oklahoma, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And when it happened, it was like Oladipo and Sabonis. Like it looked like they were just getting pennies to the dollar, or whatever you want that saying is. But you know, that sending him to Toronto, I just don't know if that was the package. DeMar DeRozan is a sure thing, and I think he's going to fit well, integrate into that system. And the first thing everybody's pointing out is how the spacing on the floor. You lose Danny Green, and now you've got the kid from Florida or Miami, Lonnie, and DeJounte Murray. They're all bouncy athletes, but they're not really shooters. DeRozan is like a 20-foot, 18-foot in shooter. So the spacing could be an issue. You have Aldridge and Powell out there. I don't know, man. You spread the floor with the bigs, but I thought they could have got more. And I think what Toronto's doing is it's clear it's a salary dump. DeRozan, we know what time it is with him. Remember when I went I went in on the Raptors after they got swept because I had picked them going out the East. And DeRozan, he's a supplementary star. And you know, but back to the Kawhi not playing. If he sits out, fuck Kawhi. I had mentioned this to you before we started recording. Like, if Kawhi sits out, I'm the Laker. If I'm Magic, I do not give him the bag. I don't give him a max, or anybody else that for that matter. Whoever is in the bidding war for Kawhi, let's say this next summer, and he had sat out for Toronto, because one, that lets me know, like, yo, he doesn't love the game, because that's 2 years in a row you've sat out. Why? Because your uncle's in your ear, because your feelings are hurt. Hell no. So I think that would be despicable if he does that, and I wouldn't go get him, because it proves that he doesn't have a true love for the game, and then I'd question his health. Now, so they dumped DeRozan. I like Jakob Poeltl. I like his bounce and aggression. You know, he's still a little bit raw, but again, putting it into San Antonio's system, that's nice. But I thought they would have asked for Van Vliet, or I guess they're happy with their young guards right now, or one of those wings, Anunoby or Siakam. I thought they could have gotten more, because they gave up Danny Green as well. But did you hear anything? People are saying, like, the national media, well, they're just going to flip Kawhi. They're gonna cause a bidding war between the Clippers and Lakers. That shit doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all either. Yeah, I wasn't going down that stream of logic either. But it's just interesting too. They're also venturing into a new area. This is not a new example, but a limited example of someone who has expressly stated, hey, I'm not trying to mess with y'all, but they still invited the guy on. So unless they are planning on doing some flip or trade or whatever it may be, it's going to be tough to house an unhappy person for, 80 to 90 games. So that's definitely going to be a disruption in the locker room. And luckily, he's a quiet guy, so maybe he'll just show a lot of passive aggressive behavior if he does play. But it's just interesting. You look back into some of his history, and not to psychoanalyze, but when you look at his face, it looks like he's consistently working through something, like something emotional, like he's going through some type of private experience publicly all the time. It's just weird.
Absolutely. Like there's you can't find, when I'm like finding images for the pod or just for video editing, you could never find him with the face, right? With the Mamba mentality, if you will, right? Like if you go and Google any star NBA player to Google images, you'll find, it doesn't matter what their personalities, you'll find a picture of them looking really intense and aggressive and confident, like, oh, I'm about to take this, right? I'm about to take this shit. And it's very hard to find a picture of Kawhi like that, man. He's always looking down at the ground, right? Bashful looking. And I don't know, man. I think Drake's going to probably send like a whole stable of hoes towards his penthouse as soon as he arrives, because
a welcoming. Yeah. I mean, we talked about Trae Young, and he already met with Migos in them. So I'm pretty sure Migos in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure that's always a good thing to check in and see what's good.
Maybe someone just needs to empower him, and he needs to push back against his uncle. And they're like, there was an incident in a hotel lobby with Kawhi and his uncle. His uncle ended up on the ground, and Kawhi now all of a sudden he's speaking regularly, and
that'd be funny if like he's
got new shoes on now.
We just don't know, but he's like a very intelligent person. Like Kawhi's really like dropping some deep wisdom and stuff, or he's just like really a dummy. He can't speak. We just don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the latter. But no, I don't know. But here's the thing. I want to get back to that bidding war, the proposed. Oh well, in February, if it's not working out, they'll just leverage a war for the Lakers and Clippers. The thing is, now that Jerry West is really the decision maker for the Clippers, and I want to credit Ballmer for that, because we know Ballmer is just he's kind of a lunatic, right? I mean, that's too strong, but the fact is he is a billionaire, and he realizes he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and so he went and got Jerry West rather than trying to like pull the string on the decisions. It didn't work. I think he tried that the first few years, but anyway, Jerry West is in charge, and he knows what time it is. He knows, one, that Kawhi may not truly love basketball, and there's an injury. The risk around getting Kawhi, and then let's say they ship out what's the kids, Gilchrist, they're rookies, they're second and third year players that they really like, to Toronto February. So what? You get Kawhi. That ain't getting you out the West, man. That might not even get you in the Western Conference playoffs. So my view is, I don't think the Clippers are interested in enough to threaten the Lakers. The Lakers and Magic, they're just going to sit and wait. There's no team that's going to threaten the Lakers enough to go trade for him.
Okay.
And so that's
because he's made it very clear what he's trying to do. Yeah, I'm definitely. And the Lakers could even, I know they might want to do solid by him, but when we transition into next year, obviously this is a forecast, not sure if it's true. With someone's excitement to get there, he might even be willing to take a less pay. I mean, if he's that type of dude who's just, so headstrong or whatever it may be. Granted, he's trying to get paid, but if he does go to the Lakers, they might be able to get him on a, hometown discount or whatever it may be. Just he's so damn happy to get out of the cold. So who knows how that'll work.
No, it's hard to say, because it appears that his uncle is making the decisions, and his uncle's about the cash. It started off, he was salty about the Jordan brand deal. They turned down the Jordan deal. Who turns down a Jordan deal in the NBA, right? And so it appears to be about the cash. But then so the Supermax is something around $220 million. That's gone because he didn't stay in San Antonio. Toronto, I believe, can pay him somewhere around 150, 180 million. And now if he doesn't sign with them, and let's say he goes to the Lakers, now it's down to 120. And I mean, it's all relative. Obviously, what does it matter? Will he even spend that money ever? It doesn't look like it with his lifestyle. So maybe it doesn't matter. But I mean, so he's shown they're showing contradicting things of what they want. But I mean, ultimately, it seems like LA. LA and the Trailblazers, I don't know if you caught any of it, were in the summer league. The Warriors were out early, man, so I kind of lost a little interest. And a lot of the players that I wanted to see were getting pulled this was the first year, the format of playing this many games in the summer league. And I think they were compacted too quick into too few days, and so guys were getting chipped up, and teams were pooling their assets. Doncic never played. Mo Wagner got pulled out with an ankle thing. Just all these top 10 guys eventually just got pulled out. But the Lakers and Portland ended up in the championship. Josh Hart was the Summer League MVP. And Magic was like, yo, man, he's coming for one of y'all starting spots, KCP, or I haven't even looked up and down that roster how their depth chart pans out, but it looks like he's going to start. LeBron showed up in the Summer League and dapped everybody up and was sunning everybody, grabbing everybody by the top of the heads and shit. You know? Yeah,
why is this? It's just weird. Why?
Right? No, if to me, there's different. It's all in the context of it. Like if you're dapping up after a game and you're crossing paths and you kind of dap to the side of the head and cross through. But it's like when you're face to face and you're standing, you know what I mean? And you're going to have a conversation and you dab them up, you grab them up by the palm them on the back of the head. You know, that's kind of that. Speaking
of palming on the back of the head in a different standpoint, Jimmy G, TMZ Sports, has been discussing some of his running through the community ultimately. And I guess he's dating an adult film star. I'm not quite sure of her name. But he tweeted the fact, you know what time it is when she's taking her scrunchie off to hold her hair back? And that was his most recent tweet from the hotel at 2 a.m. So it's just kind of a bit too aggressive. So people are really on Jimmy G and some of his community run through. Because you're right, whenever you're a grown man and you're holding the back of someone else's head and looking eye to eye with them, that is a bit weird for LeBron to be sunning.
Right. There's just little nuances of instead of like the man, like I guarantee you ain't doing that to Melo or Wade or any of them boys, right? It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like, look, son, bow. But no, we'll see how it's going to pan out. But Portland ended up winning. Portland had a bunch of 28-year-old niggas on the team. Portland had dudes that were drafted in like 2012 on their summer league roster, grown ass men. So they better have won that shit. But yeah, I mean, there's not. I guess the only other rumor, but we'll wrap this up. This is a quick session. Was the word is the Atlanta Hawks, Dennis Schroder to OKC for Melo is buzzing around right now. Now, I want to see that just simply because I want to see Schroder and Westbrook walk into an arena together. You know, like with whatever gear they have on, they kind of seem a little similar, man, in their. I don't know. I just see similar characteristics with those two. And obviously, he would be a backup. He's not going to start. So I think that would be an interesting move for Sam Presti in OKC. He's always willing to gamble. Not like he's losing anything. It'd be addition by subtraction. But Schroeder is a different type of dude. He's German. And it would be interesting to see how he meshed with that team.
Definitely, man. Yeah, before we get off real quick, just have to let you know the Cowboys are the most valuable sports team in the world. They've proven it, I believe, from a financial standpoint. They've got the top 25. Number 6 is New England at $3.7 billion. Number 13 is San Fran at $3.5 billion. Number 23 is the Denver Broncos at $2.6 billion. So yes, yet again, for many, many years, the Cowboys are the most valuable. Kind of crazy thing when you talk about the Patriots. I guess there's this dude named Brian Stork, and he's so sweaty that Tom Brady requires him to put an extra towel behind his butt whenever they do drills, because I guess Tom's hands were getting a bit too sweaty for his liking. So that's my question for you, because you know I'm a sweatier dude playing football and everything. What is etiquette when you're playing in LA or whatever? Like, if breath is foul or underarms are foul, like is that like a no-no? Because I know in football you could be a little stinkier and that's more acceptable, but on a basketball court,
it's funky, man. It's funky. The thing is with on a basket, it gets on the ball, and what I do is I'll stop the game. I'll stop the game, like when not like in the middle of a possession, but like let's say a possession changes hands. Sometimes it will be if it's extreme. Like when I get the ball, I'll be like, hold on, timeout, and I'll wipe the ball down, and I'll while I'm wiping it down, I'll look at dude that's the cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
Yeah.
You wipe it on the shorts, you rotate it, right? You're like, damn, this shit's hella wet. And then you glance over at dude, like, damn, bro. But it really is, I avoid, dude. I switch, like switch. Because it is a problem. And it's usually the post cats, you know what I'm saying? And they're just drenched wet. But it's a thing, man. It's a thing.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
It's very
you said that. So the most valuable, and that's because Westbrook, James Harden, they were the most valuable players, right?
Hater.
But they don't necessarily have any hardware for it. And
fair. I'll give you that. Well, we're coming back. This next season's gonna be decent. Also, too, on that whole line of Dallas and Texas and everything, there was a Texas woman more recently arrested for biting off someone's nose and swallowing it. So I guess she got into this altercation at this bar with some chick that was doing whatever it may be. And this lady, who looks kind of like a soccer mom, not a thug or nothing, bit off someone's nose and swallowed him, or a part of the lady's nose. And they actually created a GoFundMe account. They raised anywhere between $6,000 or $12,000 to help this lady get her nose reattached with plastic surgery. But isn't that crazy, though? That just shows you nowadays you can't mess with people. This is like an old lady.
I bet it ain't happening in Toronto, though. I bet you, Texas is different, man. So, but that's too much right there, man. Did you see the clip? Speaking of pickup basketball etiquette, did you see the clip of the dude that called the cops at LA Fitness?
Yeah, you were telling me about it, fool. I didn't even believe you at first whenever you said it. I was like, nah, this is not possible. What happened?
He gets hard fouled and he calls the cops. I almost want to say that it was fake. It was almost unbelievable, man. But we all play with the cat that calls everything. Right. But I'm kind of somewhere in between, because I've noticed this younger, when I play with high school kids now, they don't want to call anything. And it's funny, it's like a pride issue. Like, oh, no, we good. Every now and then you get the kid that calls everything. But for most of them, they don't want to call anything. And it's like, yo, this will get out of hand. If you do want to play this way, it will get out of hand. So like there is a level.
Okay, I can appreciate that. For the sake of preemptive or stopping what it could be. But come on, man. How did these other people playing allow this? I guess they probably didn't take him serious. Like, I heard that the guy was like, well, fine, I'm going to the front and I'm calling the cops. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. But I guess, yeah, the cops did come. And people also bring up the fact that it could be, maybe not necessarily the race of the person, but that did come into play. I believe it was in Virginia or a state such as that. And luckily nothing came of it, but that's just so whack. I mean, is this the adult who as a kid used to take their ball and leave? Like that is that guy, right? Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it. I've seen guys get into it, but again, it's never really a balance. It's call your own fouls. To me, it's like if it affected the shot, here's the thing, if it's point game, you're getting hammered. Right? Point game, because there's no free throw. So you can accept that. But if someone is really just fouling you and not allowing you to get shots off, or it's purposeful, then it's like, yo, man, what's good? But like if you're beating somebody and they're fouling you trying to recover, you're beating them and they're trying to compete. So the context of it matters. But I thought that was hilarious, man. But yeah, man, we'll see when, like I said, the NBA offseason is kind of winding down. Maybe we'll jump back in and do another quick one if there's another trade or some more movement of a star player. And then we'll head into NFL training camp and start to cover that stuff, man. Excellent. All right, y'all. We're out.